It's just gonna be some wino in the woods. We'll pour some booze on him, slap him around, you know, get him to say whatever we want.
And how does torturing some drunk in the woods help bring these kids home?
We are bringing back their memories. We're gonna get Cropsy.
You're getting IMDb credits, right?
Damn.
You've all sacrificed so much to be here and be a part of this thing we're doing. This crew is made up of couples. It's the first ever large-scale colonization mission. And everyone back on Earth is really grateful for your hard work, and your courage. We're making history here.
This is wheat. What are the odds of finding human vegetation this far from Earth?
Who planted it? You hear that?
What?
Nothing. No birds, no animals, nothing. What happened here?
What's happening?
I need you back here right now. I need you.
Okay, baby, just calm down, sweetheart. Calm down.
Tell me to calm down.
You're breaking up.
All of this is to start our new life. Where is it?
Holy.
Hey, welcome back, Cinephiles. So, today's Movie Review Monday is going to be a fun one. First off, you guys might have noticed that we had a bit of a burn notice movie at the beginning there. So someone made a suggestion. It was a bad one. It was a mistake. They know what they did. They know who they are. But we do have a savior, and that savior is Alien Covenant. First off, yeah, do not waste any time, money, effort, anything on Cropsy Incident. It is a movie dumpster fire. It needs to get removed. Alien Covenant, however, is what we decided to actually do our Movie Review Monday on. It's taking place almost 11 years after the events of the disastrous expedition that was on distant moon LV-223. Most of you guys might know that as the Prometheus film. In this one, the deep space vessel Covenant is set to take thousands of civilians to Origai 6 with the intentions of restarting a colony there. Instead, however, a rogue transmission comes in which leads them to a planet that seems extremely similar to Earth. The unsuspecting members of the crew, however, are going to have to cope with some biological foes on that planet that are beyond human comprehension. Ultimately, this is intended as a peaceful exploratory mission, but soon turns into a desperate rescue operation deep into the infinite cold space. Sorry. This is Ridley Scott's continued dive into the world that is Alien. And I, for one, absolutely adore all the previous dives, by the way. Ridley Scott does an absolute amazing job with all of these movies. I'm not going to lie, obviously, I do have a bias. I did not see this particular Alien film before last night. However, I do love all the Alien franchise movies. I have seen all the rest of them, and now I've seen all of them. But nobody has ever done it for me. But honestly, the greatest gift anybody could ever give me is an alien pop figure or a face hugger plushie. Like these creatures are so amazing. Like the face huggers, the xenomorphs, all of the different variations we get of the aliens in these films is absolutely incredible. H.R. Geiger's images and designs, they're brought to life in such a terrifying fashion. It's done so well in these movies that it's all just really amazing. And one of my favorite things about the Alien films that is definitely prevalent in Covenant as well is that the jump scares are done, but they're utilized in a way that is actually a teaching moment to all other horror films. The jump scares are not used as some cheap method in order to make the film scarier than it actually is, but it's actually just shown to be a genuine climax to build up anticipation. It's done very well. It keeps you on your toes, and it pairs extremely well as also with the other things going on in the shots, the lighting changes, the sound effects. All of it is paired together so well to just accumulate into an amazing scene, an amazing film. And I know I discuss jump scares a lot. You guys will notice that, especially when we're talking about horror movies, because jump scares is one of the most abused methods of horror films. It's one of everybody's favorite ways to be like, oh, we're scary, see? And a lot of times you're like, no, you're not. You made me jump. It's not hard to shock people. It's not hard to surprise people. But to build up genuine anticipation to a jump scare that is a legitimate, like, just high point of fear is something that does take skill. And Alien does it really well. Now, the film is no exception to any of the other films beforehand. The music, the atmosphere, the acting, all of it has always been incredible every time. Timeline-wise, as I said before, this film does take place approximately 11 years after the events of the Prometheus film. It does still take a large number of years until we're going to get to the actual Alien film, the very first of the franchise. This film kind of shows that that's where they're going. They are continuing towards they're making the bridge from Prometheus to the original Alien. It's all just a giant prequel buildup, and it's getting there in a good way. They're taking their time. They're doing it well. They are not making the mistakes that Star Wars made with some of their prequel decisions. And it's very cool to watch because as you're watching these two prequels, you kind of can see where you're getting to with the timeline, not just because of what they tell you about what has happened before or what is happening now in the film. You're getting to see it by watching the evolution of the alien species. Because let's be honest here, the real stars of these films, although, the Alien movies, let's be honest, these films created Sigourney Weaver's career almost. This is what everybody knows her from. But the actors are almost side characters to the actual xenomorphs. The xenomorphs themselves, they're really the stars of our film. And this movie especially is the true introduction to what we all know as the xenomorphs. This film uses the events of the Covenant expedition in order to introduce us to their story. One of the cool things that I really love, I don't want to show any videos of it because I'm trying not to have spoilers, but you did see it in the trailer. There are moments where there's spores found on this planet, and even something so simple as that, these alien spores, they create this amazing beauty to them. They move like dancing. They can control themselves. It seems the victims don't see that movement, or they're just, because it's spores, they're not paying much attention to it and they just see it as dust. But you get that nice close-up. You see this fluid movement and shapes appearing in the spores, and it's absolutely gorgeously done. And they slip undetected into the victims to begin the incubation. And, this is a method that we really haven't seen much. This is new, and it's a good thing that it's new. The reason that it's new is because this is actually introducing to us some of the newer versions of the species. These are very complicated creatures. Obviously, they're aliens, but like any other creature, they have evolutions, they have subspecies, they have different versions of themselves. And so this is actually introducing us to a very new one. And the new one is actually known as a neomorph rather than a xenomorph. And so the beginning of that is the spores. And then the spores go into the body, and then we get this lovely creature. So this adorable little baby that I'm showing you here is known as a bloodburster. Ain't he cute? So this little guy has some incredible speed and strength. He also has a scorpion-like tail, and he grows at an accelerated rate. So we're not stuck with this super long buildup to the actual neomorphs. We get introduced to the bloodbursters in true alien fashion. You are introduced to the bloodbursters by them doing what they do. They come to life through their namesake. I'm hitting my pop filter, I'm sorry. Through their namesake, they come to life, and they're just amazingly well done. Obviously, this is CGI work. There is a lot of CGI work in this. You will never hear me complain about their CGI work. It never looks bad, in my opinion. Some people might be a little more CGI purists, or they might just be horror movie purists in general, and they have a thing against CGI. I have no issue with it if it's done well. This definitely does it well. The bloodbursters, all of that, they combine it. They use it well with working with CGI, but also still including like old school cadavers and special effects. And to continue that, actually, you get this little guy, but then also he eventually becomes our actual neomorph. And now the neomorph, you can see, he's kind of a simple design. And there are some very obvious differences between the neomorphs and the xenomorphs. However, the differences versus the similarities, the head shape, the way the body moves, the detail put into the skeleton, the exoskeleton underneath the creature's skin, all of those are similar. But then you have those striking differences that make it important, because it reminds you this is not a xenomorph. This is something else. This is a different point in the xenomorph evolution. It's something that needs to be reminded to people when they watch this film. This is not a xenomorph film. It's an introduction to the xenomorphs. Because I have seen people, I've heard people say that it was less intimidating of a creature, but it's also a less advanced creature. This is supposed to be one of the first evolutions of the xenomorphs, is the neomorph, because this is a prequel. And these differences are important. All the differences, all the similarities, everything about the look of these aliens is important, because it's what's reminding us where we are at in the timeline. And that to me is important. You need to know where you're at in the timeline. And the fact that you can just look at these creatures to watch their evolution, watch their development, it's something amazing. It's a small detail that they put a lot of effort into without rubbing it in our faces too much. And, you know, you get to follow from the bloodburster that we saw before to the neomorphs. You're going to follow this all the way to that faithful dinner table chest burst. And it's amazing. You see the progression, like where it's going to go, because we've been there, and it's going to be good. So we have all these incredible new species to see and learn about and be terrified of. We also still in this movie, they don't waste time. We still in this movie get to revisit some of the classics. And some of those classics were beautiful and simple in their own right as well. You've got the face huggers. And the face huggers were an incredible invention. They are semi-simplistic in their design, but they also are extremely terrifying just because of what they do, the way they move. A fun little fact about me, I am absolutely terrified of spiders. I don't have many things I'm scared of, but spiders can all be murdered by fire. Seriously, I don't need them in my life at all. I never need them. I hate spiders. One of the things for me that I know is terrifying about the face huggers is their movements are extremely arachnid-like. First they launch themselves at you, but if they miss, you just see them scurrying around and they scuttle like they've got the arachnid legs, and it's okay, it's it's absolutely terrifying for me. And then to make it worse, if as you saw in the trailer, you can see the bottom of the face hugger, and the face hugger does kind of work like a hand. But so like the center of the face hugger has this big gaping creepy mouth. Can you just imagine that planted right over your face, and then it's gripping your whole head so you cannot move anywhere. And then to top it off, they have that creepy ass tail that's wrapped around your throat. Like, this is not a complicated looking creature. I mean, anything that they can make a really easy plush out of isn't super complicated without losing detail. Like, you could make a plushie of a face hugger and you have not lost any detail versus the movie's face hugger. But it's still scary. It's still terrifying. Everything about this creature is ridiculously unsettling, and that's amazing that they can do that without having to go overboard on the design. And then, you know, you've got these little creatures, and their simplicity is kind of hiding how complex their actions are. It's not like it's just eating your face off. This thing is literally going from being in an egg itself to then being the carrier for something for the next stage of the alien that then needs another host. Which, I mean, that's just amazing to me if they can keep going. And then it goes into what we all know as the chest burster. And the chest bursters also, those were always done in the original films, those were always done with animatronic puppets. Some of them, I think, in the originals were literally like a hand puppet. And it's all just amazing. Like, look at that detail that you've got. You've got such deep detail on the face, the teeth, the chest cavity that he's bursting out of even. They did such a great job with all of it. And one thing that always sort of stuck with me with the chest bursters, you always notice that when they are born, the chest bursters, I mean, they're called that for a reason. They burst out. But then at the same time, it's very often that they have a moment. There's this almost serene, calm before the storm type moment. When the chest burster first pops out and is looking around, you're reminded, this isn't just an alien. This is a newborn. The way that these chest bursters are looking out when they come out into the world, they're looking with that newborn fascination, that newborn like innocence. And the idea that there is any kind of innocence to a creature like this is, to me, is extra unsettling. It's unsettling and it's confusing, and it all accumulates to make the scenes with the chest bursters very conflicting. You see it and you're like, oh, it's a baby. But this is a baby that will maul you in seconds if given the chance. This thing will absolutely destroy you. But it's still a baby. And I don't know. I could overthink it. I do that, especially with these movies. As you can see, I get very fangirly. A lot of this I'm not going to lie, a lot of this review, I'm sure, has just been babbling on and on about the interesting things that I think are existing in these films. But that's another reason I love the films. It's another amazing thing about them. This film brings us full circle. You know, if you watched the originals, you know where I'm coming from with how well done they were, and that love for the idea, for the story that you can gain. And then this one has brought us full circle from that continued wonder and fascination of what was Prometheus. Prometheus was practically an art form in the sets and the details put into the sets and the designs. All of it was like an H.R. Geiger amazing dream. And they've continued that. They continue and bring it full circle from that wonder and fascination level to also bringing back that, you know, classic terror and anxiety from these things. And all of it's done really well, and that's amazing. This is a very big franchise. This is a lot of movies. This has many movies. And movies like this, where you have so many of them already existing, so many sequels already going on, then to try and throw in prequels, a lot of the times you get that beaten dead horse kind of idea going, where people are like, oh, they're just lazy, there's nowhere else to go with it. But this movie is so big, this world is so vast, and the story behind the aliens is so detailed and deep that this isn't even hinting at beginning to be beating a dead horse. They haven't even killed the horse yet. In my opinion, this is not a cheap continuation. This horse is not even sick. This horse is galloping triumphantly towards more films. And I truly think that, in my opinion, the Alien franchise is the Star Wars of horror films. It is worth having all of these different continuations, but it also did the prequels well, which is where it stands out from Star Wars. But we cannot be upset for how many prequels or side stories or sequels or spin-offs or anything else that we get from this, because every bit of information we should enjoy. This is too big of a tale to not want to enjoy every single piece of it. And can we also have a moment, like, I feel like we really need to shout out the techies of these films, because that is the true beauty of this. The set designs, the special effects makeups of the wounds and the cadavers, the creations of all the aliens, whether it's CGI or the animatronic puppets, all of it is absolutely incredible. Even if a scene has some shitty script writing, even if the actors are getting lazy, I feel like we'll always appreciate what is surrounding them in this film. We will always appreciate the set designs and the aliens and everything that is the true being, the true design of these movies. As I mentioned before, that's one of the best parts of the Alien franchise, in my opinion, is they know what to use and when, whether that's using the emotions of the moment, of the emotions of the scene to create that perfect level of anxiety, that true fear in the viewer, or whether it's literally just deciding if we're going to use an animatronic puppet or a CGI. They know what they're doing. Ridley Scott has been doing this a long time, and I'm so happy that he is still attached to all of it. And I truly hope that he stays attached as long as possible. This is his baby. These are his chest bursters. They are incredible, and he takes such good care of them. And you can tell that everyone involved in the film has a genuine appreciation for what they're working on. And that is not something we find, I feel, in a lot of movies today. And it has to be appreciated in this film. So, done fangirling. Go see this movie, guys. I give it 5 stars, straight up. I do recommend you must see Prometheus. Is it necessary to understand Covenant? Not totally, not 100%, but it does add to it. I feel like it'll make you appreciate Covenant more to start at the beginning and see Prometheus. I mean, honestly, I want people to just watch the whole franchise. Like, by all means, please, watch the whole thing. Start at Prometheus, work your way up, wait for the new movies if you want, see them all, and build yourself back up to the original Aliens. I've been watching this franchise grow since I was a child. I watched the originals. I loved every moment of the originals. I want people to have that as well, because it was amazing to me. The growth of this whole series is something that truly needs to be appreciated. So, thank you guys again. Thank you so much, Cinephiles, for joining me this week. And don't forget, so tonight we do have a very exciting night happening. We have my very first subscriber hype stream. We've met our subscriber goal of getting my first 10 subscribers, which thank you all so much. I love all the support. To celebrate that, we are celebrating you guys. We had a poll open, so you guys chose my makeup stream topic as well as the game I'm going to play. The winner has officially been declared as Destiny 2. We're going to be playing Destiny 2. I'm going to make my character an exo species. And so we're going to start the stream with a makeup on how to do a body paint of an exo. And I'm going to spend the rest of the game playing like that. We'll do the EXO look. It'll be a lot of fun. We're also going to be doing multiple giveaways tonight. I want to give back to you guys. To enter the giveaway, you are going to need some of my on-stream currency, some blood points. you'll use the blood points in order to purchase tickets. It's 100 blood points per ticket, maxing out at 2. Subscribers, however, will have double chances to win. So however many amount of tickets you purchase as a subscriber, if you purchase 2 tickets, you're technically going to have 4. That's how that's going to work. So, if you want more chances to win, feel free to subscribe. You can also earn those double tickets. If you want blood points, you have not watched the stream enough to have them yet. Honestly, just following the stream is going to give you your first initial 100 blood points. That right there is enough. You guys get blood points just by sitting and watching the stream. We're doing multiple giveaways. So if the first few giveaways, if you don't have enough blood points, or if it's not a game code that you want, feel free to just hang out with us, chill, have some fun. We'll probably have some drinks. Just enjoy the night with us, rack up those blood points, and when a giveaway comes up that you want to get involved in, you should have enough. The stream is going to be starting at 9:30 p.m. That is Central Standard Time for me. So I hope to see you guys there. I hope everybody has fun. I will, at the very beginning of the stream, announce what games we will be giving away, and I will also have a command in the chat so you guys can double check that at any time as well. You guys have a great Monday. I hope everybody is not losing out on too much of that energy you gained over the weekend. I hope everybody's work days are going well, and I look forward to seeing you guys tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.